Right, so we'll just play through in real time so you have a chance to look. When was the last time you were filmed? Recently or?
January.
Okay. And have you done anything significant since then?
Been trying to run more straight up and sort of leading through with my hips.
Okay.
Sort of switching on my core better, and also trying to shorten my stride.
Yep.
So, and I can see on my watch my cadence is getting a lot better than what it was.
Okay, so what's sort of default cadence with you?
So it was, when I started, it was in the 160s in January, with like a really good stride. Now it's like 176, and it's usually getting up towards the meter.
Yep.
Not over. Okay. About 0.96.
Yeah, that's good. Alright, I'm just going to fast forward the video through to on the way back. Just the first thing that I notice when I see you run is just from the knee down, it looks like you're a little bit afraid of the landing. So yeah, to me, you've been stung before with injuries like you mentioned, and you know that the ground is going to jar you up and it's going to hurt you. So you're reaching out with your toes and you're thinking, don't hurt me this time. Yep. So, so what actually happens when that's the case is you hold some tension in your legs, and when you hit the ground with a tense muscle, it actually vibrates, jars you up even more, versus hitting the ground with a relaxed muscle, where it's relaxed and you can just draw the force and the spring from the ground once you switch it on after it's hit.
Yep.
So if you can imagine a Kenyan running, I don't know if you saw any of the 2-hour work. Yep. So like,
how good was it?
Yep, it's so clear when you watch that how relaxed they are when they run, and their legs on the ground just so relaxed through that recovery phase, similar to swimming as you're recovering, but it's all relaxed, no tension until they hit the ground, and then the force goes on. Feel the ground, use the force, and then everything else is relaxed. So 95% of the leg gait is relaxed. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the first thing that I'd sort of say for you is to, if you can imagine from your knee down, really trying to let that tension out of there. Okay.
Yeah.
The ground, you know it's going to come.
Yeah.
You're going to be better off if you can hit it and just be free rather than hit it and be scared.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think the other important thing to know there is when we run, the only thing that's going to propel us forward is the ground. So it's our force plate in a way. So if you flip the thinking from thinking the ground is what's going to slow me down, it's what's going to hurt me, we're afraid of the ground.
Yeah. Flip
the thinking, the ground's advantage me, it's a trampoline, it's my force plate, I need to hit the ground. Okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, having said that, you don't want to get heavy on the ground and just clob into it. You still need to control things so you're nice, well balanced.
In January, when it was my friend's husband's a triathlon coach, and he was saying at that time I was landing on a straight leg.
Yeah.
So I've been trying not to do that, but he thought I was landing. It doesn't look like it though, does it? Or it does?
Okay, so yes, we've touched and sort of impacted there. It is slightly in front of the line of your body.
Yeah.
So just running at that pace, you sort of get away with it a little bit, but if we just roll forward, there's not a whole lot out the back.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, most of the sort of impact phase of your running is sort of from here to here. Okay. So it's quite a narrow sort of frame, whereas if you can get that landing to be a little bit more like there, and well, probably not that extreme, but if that's when you touch on, then you just delay that push phase, and we can get that push coming a little bit more out in that direction. So just see when you're sort of in in that frame there, it's like the force is already left. So your foot's just left touching the ground, but the force is gone.
Yeah.
So if you can still be sort of in the drive phase there, it's as you're applying force that direction, we're still getting the transfer going out that way.
Okay.
So rather than having landing there, it's just going straight down, straight back up, and maybe just a tiny little bit still going there, where it's going there to there. But we want that to sort of be a little bit more aggressive, where we're still really getting drive from there to there.
And how do I do that?
So, posture is important, and just also the lean from the body. So let's just, you are quite upright here. So when you said last change you made, you were too upright, or you're trying to come back to be more upright? Yep. Okay, so I guess the ideal posture that we have, you want to create a bit of a shape. I'll get you in the frame where, okay, so in this frame here, we want to see a little bit of that through the body, okay? So a bit taller through the chest, and leaning from here. So if you can imagine where you wear the heart rate monitor, if you were to run straight into a brick wall, we want that to hit first.
Okay.
Alright? So if you're a bit too upright, again, you're just not getting the angle of your body. So it's like we're running straight up and down. If we can land this way, we land and we're running like that. So into the ground, out that way. Alright? Just come back to the start. Okay, I think if we watch you run past the camera and then the other way, I think there is a slight sort of skew with the angle of your shoulders and your hips. It just doesn't look quite square. So yeah, maybe that's coming from just favouring one side. Okay. Yeah, I think you're landing quite heavily here and perhaps collapsing a little bit on that hip. Alright, so we're getting a little bit of energy spill out the hip to this side here, versus the other side. Probably, okay, so yeah, I think what's actually happening is you're loading up that right hand side. So yeah, maybe you're getting good drive off the left and just sinking on that a little bit. So are you right side dominant? Okay, so yeah, maybe you're just asking that side. What you need to think about here is, this is going into quite a bit of detail, but is it that the right side's overloaded or the right side's weak? Okay, so probably this is showing us that the right side may be overloaded a little bit. Okay, because you look pretty good off the left, like if we look at straight line through the body there, versus just just that frame there where we've got a little bit of that happening. Okay, so I think just as you're running along, be quite mindful about the feel that you've got on the ground from left side versus right side. Does it feel equal? Are you rocking from one side to the more? What's your weight transfer like as you're going from axis to axis? Do you feel like you're snapping back off each side evenly, or is there a bit of extra lag or delay on one side? So yeah, I think this is the sort of thing that once we've talked about and you're back out there running, you're spending the time, you can start to roll it over in your head. Okay. And then probably just lastly, we'll go through this a little bit in the drills, but I'd say we can just tidy up your arm carriage a little bit more. They're sort of just flapping around at the front. Okay, and do you notice that? Would you be sore after coming back from a long run?
I have been the last couple of weeks with this one, but I've been rehabbing and stuff, so it's getting better.
Yeah. So yeah, the value of the arms get that last 5%.
Yeah.
So we can't win it with the arms, but we can lose it a little bit. So
I think because I'm always like, usually my shoulders I feel like are up around my ears, so if I just relax them, then I'm relaxing my arms as well. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm doing.
So that comes with the posture as well. So rather than being tied up here, we want to set the shoulders back, so we're running with an open chest.